Good afternoon or good morning to all, wherever you are. We welcome you in our webinar. And before we start, and while the rest are connecting, please write your country of residence and your level of English. Where are you from watching our webinar now? Please write us. Hello. Hi, Tabitha. Hi, Samar. Hi, Irina. Where are you from, guys? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Saudi Arabia. Hello, Marwan. Hello. Good evening. UAE. Hi. Hello, Tabitha. Hello, Ron. Hello from USA. Hi. Good morning. Probably. Where are you from? Saudi Arabia. Yes. Great. Quite a multicultural audience today. And what is your level of English? In case your English is not your mother tongue, please type as well. Good evening. Yes. Okay, probably we should start. Let's start. And first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Daria Gureva. I am a partnership manager at Univibes, a community of experts in international education. We help students from all over the world, as you can see, to apply to international universities all over the world too. Germany, today we are speaking about Germany, and it is one of the most popular countries of destination for our students. And we help to apply to state and private universities, as well as to get full or partial scholarships in Germany. Our students get such scholarships as DAAD, Beihorst, Deutschlandstipendium, and many more. At Univibes, we actively developing our partnership network with private universities in Germany as well, because private education has its big advantages, such as practice-oriented education, small classes, career counseling and employment perspectives, and many more. And today we decided to invite our special guest, our trustworthy partner from Germany, Zherkin Matubraimova, a representative of IU, International University of Applied Sciences in Germany. And Zherkin will tell you about the benefits of studying in Germany, the difference between state and private education, higher education in Germany. And of course, she will tell you the opportunities, she will describe the opportunities of IU University in detail. After the main presentation, there will be a Q&A session. So please ask your questions during the webinar, and we will answer them after the presentation. So Zherkin, please, the floor is yours.
Okay. Okay. Hello, guys. Thank you for attending this webinar. What we can do is, of course, you can also type in your questions along the line as I'm going through, and maybe then Daria can read out the questions for after, but we will always leave them for after the webinar. So today I would like to talk a bit about Germany as a study destination, about university that I work for, which is IU International University. Maybe some of you already know us. And of course, a little bit about the difference between the state and private institutions. Okay. I think I will maybe turn off my camera for now, because it would work a bit better, because sometimes when you're presenting and also there's a camera on, when there's a lot of people joining the webinar, it could be a bit of a technical problems. But sure, I'll turn it on once I'm finished. Okay, great. So just to start off with, just to talk about IU, we are a German state accredited university. And we're based in Berlin and Bad Honnef, but I will tell you a bit more about that. Okay, let's start. So first of all, we start why study in Germany. Germany, it's one of the highest standards of education per se. It's always been that way, and it is. And of course, Germany, I would say, is the country that holds EU together, or maybe you would say even it is a European Union itself, because they kind of dictate to all the rest of the countries. So if you're choosing Europe, I mean, I think the best place to choose would definitely be Germany. First of all, because all the students who come here, they'll be able to have stay back option, which means that after graduation, no matter what university you graduate from, you get 18 months post-study visa. We also call it job seekers visa, where you can, look for a job in the meantime, or maybe even have a full-time job. But upon expiration of 18 months, you need to get a job in the study field that you studied. In the field that you studied, sorry. While it's just studying in Germany as well, all students are allowed to work 20 hours a week or 120 full days per year. The reason why I put 120 full days per year as well is because while it's during holidays, you'd be able to work full time, but of course, within your semester, you'd have to be working only part time. Regarding the residence permit as well, it's pretty easy for students to obtain residence permits because after the 18 months, let's say, you find a job, you secure your work contract. The first residence permit that you get, it would be for 2 years, let's say work permits. And after 2 years, if you still maintain your job, or maybe you have a different contract at work, you'd be already be able to get a permanent residence. It's as easy as that. So coming up to, let's say, private and state universities, I know that Daria as well mentioned that they send students to Germany, to state and private institutions. But just for you to understand how it kind of works, I guess. So a state university is a traditional university, so hence why I put a tradition. So it was founded in 1386. The first university was in Heidelberg. And of course, most of the time they focus on theoretical knowledge, let's say more if you're applying for medicine, it's more science, or maybe humanities. With private, we call them a University of Applied Sciences. So it's an innovative way of education, I would say. The first university as well was actually in Austria in 1969. And what they do is mostly focus on practical knowledge. So we kind of give skills, and knowledge for you to apply in practice. So the subjects you would be normally applying for will be tech subjects like IT, for example, let's say University of Applied Sciences, since it is called an innovation as well, you definitely would get the latest technologies in here. Whereas because as private universities have, you have to pay for them. So therefore, and we also have funding from alumni or from, let's say, from stakeholders. So therefore, we can afford, to renew our programs and to make sure that we give you the latest information. Whereas with state universities, since they are free and they are government funded, sometimes they teach a bit of a maybe outdated information in terms of technology. But however, when you go to let's say study law, if you go to study, or let's say humanities and medicine, as in or hard data, of course, I would definitely offer you to choose state universities. Whereas for private universities, you'd be more business and management, in finance, and of course in IT sector. Also, I would say, So Germany boasts a large number of accredited universities, state universities, and of course the majority are state. However, in recent years, the number of private universities has increased, and because of the number of students attending these universities, right? So they're becoming more and more popular right now. Private and public universities in Germany, of course, they have some similarities, but also they're very, very different. So let's say many students like you would often fail to recognize these differences, which could be bad because, it has the potentials of leading you to a decision that you would not take otherwise, right? So of course, it comes to cost. right? The cost of attendance, for private and public universities, of course, differentiates a lot. But, surely you've heard the higher education in Germany is offered for free, but that's only true for the public sector. Okay, so that's only for state universities. However, this is not something that you have to pay much concern, as despite higher education in private universities, yes, they do have a certain price tag, but it is low enough to afford it. Let's take an example as UK. I know UK is a very popular study destination, right? Because it just is, I guess. So 1 year of, let's say, 1 year of a master or a bachelor program in UK can be equal for the price that you would pay in private university in Germany for the whole of your program, right? And of course, it's up to you whether you go to for a public or private university, but you always have to remember that the German schools, all the German schools apply very high academic standards. Okay. Public universities have, of course, higher tendency to face students with high admission criteria. It is because public universities still remain more popular. But despite that, the private as well has been gaining reputation in recent years. And of course, for the public universities, proportion of excellent applicants are admitted. Okay. But this doesn't mean that private universities in Germany, should be taken for granted, especially the state accredited ones like us. You will still have to show an excellent knowledge if you would like to enroll into this course, and you have to work really hard to complete your degree. And also, as Daria as well mentioned earlier, that in recent years, private universities, gaining strong reputation among employers, because our study programs can offer a very, very great deal of employability, because we take practical knowledge, higher than of course there's theory, but there's a lot of real study cases. And of course, due to with state universities, due to a very high number of enrolled students, they have larger classes than the private universities. And of course, a low teacher student ratio contributes to a better learning environment, right? So therefore, let's say we have up to 30 people in class, or no more than 30 people. Our professor student ratio is 1:30. Therefore, it gives you a better learning environment, and you can receive more personal training, let's say, or more customized teaching from a private institution. And yeah, sure. So it's a limited number of students would highly improve the group work, and also to work as an individual as well. So just to quickly explain as well, in this graphic, as you can see, what type of students, let's say, would choose kind of a traditional public sector or a traditional private sector. So it's mostly would be aspiring academics who are doing research, or let's say some students who kind of taking their time to understand what they would like to study, but they would go just to have an active social life on campus, let's say. And of course the academic wanderers, whereas they understand the importance of a degree. So normally it's for humanities or like medicine. Or kind of those ones who don't really know what they exactly want out of this. Whereas for the privates, it's mostly, for the career starters, or let's say industry switches, as it say, if you're working and you're kind of bored, because sometimes at some point in your lifetime, you would like to change your working environment, because it could be, it could get a bit boring, I guess, at one point, right? If you keep doing the same thing. So therefore, I'd say most of the students would come to us at the master level, do one or 2 year master, which would then give them an opportunity to change their career path. Pretty much most of the time, as I said, it'd be mostly for career-driven students, or let's say for someone who would like to do IT. For sure, private institutions would be better for you. But however, also in state universities as well, they're not so behind, but still they're not as advanced in technologies. Okay, so a bit about us now. Well, maybe not a bit, maybe a lot about us. So today we're going to talk, it'll be a little bit introduction to IU, a bit of an application process, what you can do, what we have as, tools, what discounts that you could have through Univibes. If you apply for Univibes, we do have an agreement in place with them. So you'd benefit from, online or on-campus discounts. And of course, in the end, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so why study at IU? As you can see, it says because it's worth it. That would definitely be my answer, of course. As we're talking as well earlier about the career path, so it'll be a career booster, for the professional students if they come in at a master level, and of course for the bachelor students will be a new challenge, and of course since we do a lot of practical, we give a lot of practical knowledge, there'll be a lot of exciting tasks, in groups or individually. And of course, a better salary. As I have mentioned earlier as well, that our private universities are getting stronger reputation among the employers, as they know that we use, the latest state-of-the-art kind of technology in order to teach our students. Okay, who we are. So you might know us, some of you, we used to be called IUBH. So the abbreviation stands for International University of Bad Honnef. However, from 1998, we have expanded a lot. And right now, we have over 100,000 students. So we currently right now, we're largest university in Germany. So the first and foremost, I would also say that you should know that we're state recognized. So meaning that we have state accreditation, as in our degree, it's equivalent to a public institution degree. So therefore, our entry requirements as well are a bit tough, I guess. So yeah. We also have 3 different study models. So we have a distance learning, which means online program, on campus, as in, so you come and physically study on campus. And we also have a hybrid where you can start online and then, continue on campus. I will talk about it a bit more in a minute. But also we have a lot of different courses. Starting from business management to data IT to engineering to healthcare. So there's a lot of courses that you can choose from. All our programs are in English. So, we're English to university. And of course, amongst these as well, let's say if you're choosing management, we have, a lot of different specializations, amongst that. Okay, so, oops, sorry. So I know a lot of you really, really care about the rankings and about the accreditations and etc. So in Germany, we don't really participate as much in the QS rankings, and it's not a German thing to do. We have our own. It's called CHE ranking, and we always have the top places in that. I already said about state accreditation, because I keep repeating state accreditation because it's not that easy to obtain it. There's so many universities, it's about 450 institutions across Germany, private institutions, but it's a very, very low number of them that has state accreditation. It's a really long and daunting process. And also, Ministry of Education here, they're always auditing us. So they're always, making sure that we're working up to their standards. So therefore, when, like in Germany, if someone says, oh, it's a state accredited university, there's no need to ask what's your ranking or what's a place you're at, and etc. We also received, I'm saying about QS ranking, but the QS, they gave us 5 stars recently for the online learning. As you can see as well, we got multiple awards for our distance learning programs. And of course, we have a first place in the Deutsche Institute. Our distance learning or our on-campus programs, they're exactly the same. Apart from that, of course, distance learning, you'll be, studying from the comfort of your own home with pre-recorded lectures, whereas, on campus, it'll be exactly the same study sequence, I guess. Apart from that, it will be just done face-to-face. Since we are University of Applied Sciences, and we are really well known amongst German students, let's say, or DACH region, we say a German-speaking region, because we also have German programs as well. So, and one of them, it's called Duales Studium, which means the students, they study and work, but that's only for the DACH region for German-speaking European students. However, we have over 15,000 corporate partners. The reason why is we work with these corporate partners is because of, we have to kind of offer jobs and make sure that our students would be able to find jobs, right? So we ensure that everyone can access our portfolio. So once you study with us, once you graduate, you can still be able to, attend all the workshops that we have, or, for example, reach out to our partner network as well. Okay, so here's kind of how it works with us. So first of all, of course, the first steps is you have to, send an application online. When submitting an application, at the end of this, we will give you a special code that belongs to Univibes, so they know that the students who are applying to us, in order to, secure their discounts, they would have to put in this voucher code. To secure a discount, I guess. But we'll do that in the end. We'll give it to all of you. And then, as you can see, that you can start your study now after the application, after the admission, you start your study process. We put flexible blended, as in, like we said, you can study online on campus, or you can also do a hybrid. And I guess, we have a big number of people who would help you along the way of coming to Germany, or helping you stay in Germany, or to kind of adapt into Germany. We have students office who can help you with all the questions as well. And we already discussed that we have a small and personal classes, and of course, once you finish, you get a state accredited degree. Which is, I would say, as I said, equivalent to a public degree as well. So in terms of our entry requirements, so of course for the bachelor, what we would need to do is we would need to have your high school living certificate or secondary school living certificate, whichever way you call it, because I know in all different countries they call it different way. We would need to see at least 3 years of your transcripts. In order to figure out what your GPA is. You'd need to upload your passport, your CV, and of course, English language proficiency. So what we can accept is IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, and also Cambridge as well, B2. So at the bachelor level, it will be IELTS 6, TOEFL 80 points, or Duolingo 95 points. For some of the applicants, so from the non-EU countries as well, some of you would have to go through our 1-year pathway program. So for the pathway program, we would accept IELTS 5 or TOEFL 64, or let's say Duolingo 85 points. Okay. For the master, what we need is, of course, your certificate, bachelor's certificate, or maybe if you still don't have it yet, we need some sort of a graduation certificate or provisional certificate, all transcribable records to see your GPA as well. Of course, your passport, CV, English proficiency, exactly the same as for a bachelor. And we would need to see a work experience, let's say 1-year working experience. After graduation, guys, so not simultaneously with your bachelor, but after graduation. We can also accept, if you don't have a work experience, let's say certificate, we can also accept like a payslip, to see what it is. For certain programs, of course, because let's say if you were doing business in your bachelor and then you would like to come to IT, we would definitely need to have a 1-year work experience, because you would either need to have the same background, or you can have to provide us with work experience for us to admit you into let's say if you're switching your degree, right? But also we do have some programs that we do not require work experience, as long as you have the bachelor in the related fields that you are applying for. Okay. So MBA is exactly the same, apart from you would need to have 2 years of work experience. And just for you guys to see, this is how normally a work experience certificate looks like, or, what you need to have is, it has to be a job position. We need to see a description of your job, as in what you were doing whilst you're working there, and the working hours, whether you work full-time or was a part-time job, and of course, a start and end dates. The most important thing, it should be on an official blank, company's blank, with employer's signature, and a stamp. Okay, so what we have 4 intakes. So you say about the application deadline. We don't really have an application deadline as such, and the reason why is because we have 4 intakes a year. You can start our studies in January, April, July, and October. Okay, let's say you're a bit late for January intake. That's not a problem at all. We can then defer you to an April intake, so you don't have to wait that long. You're only going to wait, no longer than 3 months. So with the online application, of course, you go on our website, and there's an apply now button. So you just click on it and, put all your details, upload all your documents. And of course, please do not forget the Univibes voucher code for you to make sure that, you get the benefits for yourself. And how we work. So once you upload the application, we then would contact you. So sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks because, it could be all different busy periods, or sometimes, we have to send your documents to our examinations office to see, for your eligibility, if we're not so sure. So in the meantime, while you're waiting, you can always go to our websites. Let me just quickly show you. Oops. Okay. So if you go into our websites, you can check, everything about the program that you're applying for. Let's say you go into computer science bachelor degree, right? So while you're waiting in the meantime, because a lot of students ask, oh, can I see the module handbook? What it's like? Can I see the description of courses? So if you scroll down, you can see the course overview. So you can even see which modules you'd have, in all of your semesters. So first semester, second semester, and so on. You can also see all the electives that you can choose prior to coming. You can also download, if you click on my module guide, you can also download our module handbook, where here, it has a proper description of all the courses, how many CTS, what programs there are, what they're called, and what you'll be kind of studying, right? So you can see all of this through our websites. You can also have a look even for the course schedule, for example, for our on-campus course schedule. Especially, this is very important for those students who would like to do hybrids education, because when you're studying online, you can just open up any courses, and take your modules, not per semester, but you can just pick and choose whatever modules you'd like to study. But if if you start online and would like to come on campus, you would definitely have to follow the study sequence here. Okay. So it's pretty easy. In terms of our study platform that I was talking about, let me just show you. This is a dummy account, so please. Normally, this would be your login. Okay. I just would like to show you what the interface, what it looks like, and a bit to navigate through our platform. So this is our online platform where all our students study. Whether you're online or on campus student, you all will have this, because you have all your timetable, your study timetable on your right, and you can also see all the news or your course registered courses for. Here you'll have a dedicated IU email address, and of course you'd be able to socialize with our community, as we call it, IU community, via Teams. You can reach out to our alumni, you can reach out to your fellow students, you can also reach out to your professors, or maybe even some sort of IT support in students' office and etc. via Teams as well. We have a really large library, so we have a really large external library as well for our students. Here, I mean, it's completely free of charge. Also within this platform, we implemented a LinkedIn Learning as well. So you can always, just going to do that. Everything is free of charge for all our students. And of course, if you click on video gallery, you can see all the tutorials, on the library information and how to use it, for example, or even your tutorials for how to do exams. You can always go into info settings and FAQs as well, and see all the questions that you need, whether it's to do with the administration, or if it's with your course learning or exams or the scholarship and etc. Okay, so it's super simple to use, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. You can even test yourself. So for example, if you go into here, normally it will come up your tutor's name here, or your professor's name, and of course description of the program, or your course books, and anything that you need. But also we have this for you to evaluate yourself. It's called online test and evaluation. So therefore, for example, let's say you go, once you finish one lesson, you would then be followed by a test. So you would need to pass this test by 80%. So you have to answer 80% of your questions correctly in order to move on to a next unit. Okay, this is how it works. You can retake the test as much as you like. The reason why this is done is for you to understand whether you have, secured the program, whether everything that's, you saw in lectures, or for example, in your lesson, whether you understood the whole material. And if you don't, then you can go back, rewatch your videos, or maybe reread your course book, and then go back and retake your test. Okay. So as I explained as well, you can check everything that you need on here. And once we, check for eligibility, and if you're eligible to study with us, we will then, send an offer letter. Once you receive your offer letter, you would need to sign it, send it back to us, and make a registration fee and a campus fee of €1,500 to secure your study place. Okay. Okay. So next. How we teach. So we have a little bit of a different teaching method, I guess. We realized that 6 subjects, it's quite a lot to take for our students at once. Okay, study simultaneously 6 subjects plus do all the exams. So what we did, we have divided our semester into 2 blocks. So 2 blocks by 11 weeks. So 9 weeks of modules and teaching and lecturing, and 2 weeks you'll have for your assignments to prepare for exams and pass your exams. So what we do is, in the first 11-week block, you'll have 3 modules. And then once you pass your exams, you'll then have 1 week off. And then you start your second block of 11 weeks, which is the following 3 modules. And this showed us that our dropout rate decreased, which means that the system works really well with our students. So yeah, I mean, it's maybe a little bit different to other universities, but we realize that this is what works for our students. Because we want everyone to graduate at the end of the day, and get a job. Because for us, it's a bonus for us as well, because I will show you in a minute when we get to the career services. So as we talked about as well, it's very flexible. Our motto is to make education flexible, accessible, affordable for everyone, everywhere. And of course, we have in-person seminars each week. You can also do them online, anytime, anywhere. And of course, when you come on campus, you get to work in groups, socialize with fellow students. We also do very practical learning. So, for example, all our professors have at least 5 5 years of work experience in the industry that they teach. And I would say quite a big percentage of our students do find jobs via professors, because, you know, a lot of companies, since they do have weights, I guess, and you know, they are industry like professionals, quite a few companies, you know, approach our professors to see whether they have a student that would fit the actual company. Since we do have small class sizes, you know, that your tutors, your lecturers, your professors, they will get to know you, you know, on a personal basis as well, which is a great thing, because mostly in public institutions, you know, professor student ratio, it's crazy. So therefore, you know, professor would never have time for you, whereas the private institutions is a bit different. The professors would always make time for you. You know, you can even make an appointment, book an appointment with them, you know, if there's something that you don't understand, or maybe help with your thesis, and etc. So also, as I was saying, we do have career service on campus. I will come to that in a minute. That's the reason why we put the, you know, the career talks and you know, and etc., that you can have access to all our network. And the benefits, of course, 18 months post-study visa, you know, and living in Germany as well. And of course, we offer free German classes for all our students. Okay, next. So, as we were talking as well, maybe just quickly, you know, your lecturers, of course, I mean, these are your professors. So I already said that you can always, you know, reach out to them and make an appointment and have a little, you know, a deep dive with your questions. In terms of library team, you can also access it via My Campus platform that I just showed earlier, or also on campus. So the student's office would be your first point of contact once you come to Germany, because what they do is they will help you setting up your life in Germany. I mean, maybe you have some questions regarding your courses or course registration, and of course, anything to do with your studies. Okay, so I was telling you about this bit in the beginning, that we have 3 different study models, right? So we've got you can start online and finish online. So you also can benefit from up to 75% discounts with the Univibes voucher codes. You can also start online and then finish on campus, because then you would benefit from 18-month post-study visa, and also maybe you'll be able to find a job and, you know, have a bit of work experience, because, you know, anywhere you go now, they ask for work experience, but how would you get it if no one is willing to give you one? So therefore, in Germany, there isn't such thing. So there's many jobs, but for educated and integrated students. And of course, you can also just, you know, just do fully on campus, whichever way you prefer. We have a career support on campus. This is not mandatory, but I would definitely advise you, because what you can do is you can, we organize different workshops. Okay, so they help you with, for example, how to write your immaculate CV, how to do cover letter, maybe, you know, how to look for jobs, where to find jobs. We also have our own dedicated platform for career services, where they have, you know, where they list all the jobs from our corporate partners. Right, all the open jobs. It could be part-time, it could be internship, it could be full-time jobs, so whichever it is. We also organize career talks, so we invite industry leaders on campus to, you know, talk a bit about the experience to our students, you know, motivate them a bit, I guess. And as you can see, I was telling you that it is in our interest for you to graduate and find a job, because as you can see, this number is 94% of our graduates are employed within the first 6 months. Of course, it's with help with our career support, of course, with your own knowledge, and with our professors' support. So yeah, you can always just also get an appointment for an individual consultations with them. They can help you out. I already showed you a bit already that you can have a digital coursework and interactive, but also I would like to mention that we also have the IU Learn app. You can download it from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Free of charge, and you can just download all your study materials, and you can just have it offline and access it at any time. Okay, so regarding our prices, I guess this is the interesting bit for everyone. So These prices are not per year. These prices are for a full program. So, for example, a 3-year bachelor program is €15,705. This is, a bit of a discount as well, as I was mentioning. So how this works, so it's about €5,200 per year for the bachelor. For master, we have 2-year master or 1-year master. So it depending on your background and your eligibility as well. So 2-year master is just under €7,500 per year. If you do 1-year master or MBA, it's 9,000, and of course a year and a half MBA, it's a bit more pricey because MBA is pricey in general. Also, what we do is we ask for a campus registration fee. As I've mentioned earlier, I said that after signing offer letter, we would need to see you would need to send us a deposit, registration fee of 1,500. If you pay it within the first 2 weeks after receiving an offer letter, will get a discount of €1,000. So it's always, and as you can see as well, you can pay monthly, you can pay a year in advance, 2 years in advance, or for the full program in total. So we have a lot of different flexible options for students to pay. And the last not least, I just wanted to say, of course, a lot of people might be asking why you're so cheap and why you're offering this discounts, But as I said earlier, our motto is to make education accessible, affordable for everyone, everywhere. So we want to give that opportunity, for people, for as many people to learn as possible across the globe. Okay, so and this would finalize my presentation for you guys, and it's time for questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Jarkin, and thank you for the presentation and for the introduction of the educational system in general, the difference between state and private universities in Germany, and for the introduction of IU, International University of Applied Sciences. We have a number of questions, and please, if you have more, ask them now, because we will answer them right now. So the first question is probably general about the German education. Are the universities that teach in English with free education? If not, how much would I have to spend on annual tuition? I will comment on this question, is that there are English degree programs in state universities in Germany, but they are quite limited number, and the competition is very tough, and they are formally free of charge. There is no tuition fee, but students have to pay semester fees, like starting from €300 per semester. Just bear it in mind. And as for the tuition fees in IU University, Jarkin described in details the tuition fees for on-campus education, not online. And probably you could comment on the online fees for our students.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can find the prices for our online fees on our website as well. But however, with the Univibes as well, we have a special agreement where we can give up to 75% discounts on our tuition fees. So let's say a bachelor program a month would be about €145. A master program would be around 100. It depends if it's a 1-year master or 2-year master. So be around 1 second. Sorry, I'm just wanted to count with the discounts. So be around €180 per month. So it's much cheaper to study online, yes, of course. But as I mentioned previously as well, you'd be able to, start online and come on campus if you'd like at some point, because then you would benefit from 18 months post-study visa. And maybe just it's nice to, travel to a different country and meet different people and, socialize and and network, I guess. It's the main thing in life right now is networking. It's who you know, right? So
yes, indeed. So another question is from Sanal. Does Germany allow spouse and child to accompany on student visa? Is it possible to come with your husband in case your husband studies and he comes on a study visa? Do you know something about this?
Yes, of course. So how it works. So first of all, I wouldn't recommend for them to apply straight together. But of course, we do have mature students as well, especially at our at an MBA, let's say, who comes. So they would have to at least finish one semester, and then they can send an invitation. So it's called a visa for family
Reunion.
reunification. Yeah, so they'd have to give. And of course, the spouse would then get a work visa straight away, a work permit. For the kids as well, they can come. If kids are school age, then schools are free. If they are at a kindergarten, then kindergartens are quite cheap for students. So it's about 25 euros a month. They would pay for it. So it's even a discount. So yes, it is possible.
Okay, thank you very much. So, dear audience, you can see the voucher code on our slide. You can use it while applying, or if you need our assistance, of course, you can leave us a message and we will support you definitely with the application process to IU University with pleasure. So another question. About English proficiency tests, Jörgen described that IU accepts TOEFL, Duolingo test, and IELTS. So probably there are more options to prove their English proficiency. Do you conduct your internal interviews probably if a student doesn't have any of these certificates?
Right. So what we can do is for the online, for on campus, because when you go for visa, you would have to show them your English proficiency tests. However, for online students, we have our own internal test. Yes, it's called Speaks. And if they're not up to our desired level, then what we do is we offer them up to 3 months free courses for them to reach that level and start studying with us. Also, we can also accept MOI. So, for example, a letter from school or university stating that medium instruction was in English. But yeah, we accept that letter as well. But what we need to do is we would have to conduct an admission interview to see the level of English. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you go for embassy, they will still ask you either for MOI or for an English proficiency test.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you very much for commenting. Another question about the programs. There are a lot of questions about the specific programs. For example, are there any courses in sports science and physical education, or do you offer a master degree in clinical psychology? So humanitarian or specialization in social work. So could you please elaborate about the programs a little bit more?
Of course, yeah. So mostly, our programs are mostly IT related, or let's say management and engineering. However, we do also have applied psychology, but we have more online programs rather than on campus because, these type of programs, like I said, humanities and etc., students mostly go to public institutions because these are the programs that are offered in English at a public institution. So I would say for on campus, right now we don't really have such a big numbers of students who would like to do that. But however, in 2024 we will have medicine. Maybe if someone would be interested in that in English as well. So that's the only thing that I can actually comment. But apart from mostly it's just engineering, IT, and management programs. Yeah.
Okay. Zaid is asking, what are the entry requirements for British high school certificates for O levels, AS levels, and A2 levels? Do you accept them at all?
So yes, we accept A levels. We would also accept, O levels, it's normally from African region that come, I would say, O level, or maybe it's from inter-subcontinent, mostly. We do, but they will have to go through our pathway program. For A level is a direct entry, IB direct entry, but everything else would have to go through pathway.
But if I'm not mistaken, AS levels, it's an incomplete. It's the first year of A levels.
Correct. Correct.
So
yes. So
is it possible to do your pathway program and then proceed to the first year of bachelor degree?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, but for the full A levels, then of course, yeah, they'll have a direct entry.
So about the scholarships, the question, are any scholarships available? So we've mentioned that using our voucher code, you get the scholarship up to 75% for online and for offline programs.
Up to 40% for offline. Yeah.
Up to 40% for offline. Yes. Thank you. I have a question about the program change. I mean that if a student doesn't have relevant bachelor degree, for example, and would like to apply to another degree to change the degree and doesn't have any work experience, would you consider this applicant?
No, unfortunately not. Since we are state accredited, we'd have to, follow the entry requirements. I mean, the requirements that are set by the Ministry of Education.
Okay, but if a student doesn't have a work experience, but for example, has some short courses or additional education, not the bachelor degree, but some short courses, for example, in Coursera or something like that.
I mean, as long as they're accredited courses, of course, of course, the process would take a bit longer because then we have to evaluate the course to see the course description, what it is. And it normally is left with our examinations office or let's say our professors. So would be on individual basis.
Okay. So, or it would be better to apply for a bachelor degree and to repeat the studies.
Yes. I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ahmed is asking, is there a specific German level required for a fully English program? So no German is required, right?
No German is required, no.
Okay, so I think that, what's the website again? We will have this webinar recorded and you can get back, but it's iu.org. You can enter this website and have a look at the website of the university. Again, if you need an assistance to apply and through the application process, you can leave us a message under this video and we will contact you and we'll be happy to help you with the application process. And please don't forget to use our voucher code. It's Agent Univibes 21 RUS in case you are applying directly to the university. So probably one last question. So is work experience for master degree programs compulsory for both public and private universities, or it is exclusive for some like IU?
It is compulsory for both. Yeah, I mean, depending on your background, you cannot just change your background without having work experience. That doesn't work that way. If someone is coming studying law and they want to do IT, I mean, none of the universities would say. I mean, maybe there are private institutions that would, but private institutions with a state accreditation definitely wouldn't. Same as public institutions.
And some universities say that it is possible to switch from, for example, IT to management, but not vice versa, because management is quite is not that applied as IT programs, and you have to have some previous background to continue computer science, for example, on a master level. But as for management, it is easier to catch up with material, even if you don't have a background.
Exactly. You just have to take some courses in business, I guess, and or economics, and
Yes. Okay, Jarkin, thank you very much. I think that we can finish at this point. Please, if you have any questions or if you would like to schedule an appointment with someone from Univibes or with Jarkin, we can arrange this on an individual basis. Please just let us know. Use our voucher code again, leave your messages, and we are at your disposal. Thank you very much for coming today, and we were very happy to see you all. Thank you for your questions. Thank you, Jarkin, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and have a great evening or morning wherever you are. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.